You say you want freedom. Freedom from stress, freedom from expectations, freedom from your old life. But here's the truth you don't want to hear. Freedom is terrifying, because real freedom demands one thing: you must walk alone. And that's exactly what Miyamoto Musashi mastered. Not the freedom of comfort, the freedom of clarity, discipline, and absolute self-direction. You're afraid of disappointing others. You shape your decisions around opinions. You follow paths that were never yours. Musashi walked away from all of that and became the greatest swordsman in Japanese history. Today, we dive into the scariest level of freedom, the way of walking alone, Dokkodo. And if you understand this, truly understand it, your life will never be controlled again. Chapter 1. The world fears the lone warrior. Musashi learned early that walking alone isn't lonely, it's powerful. At 13 years old, he fought his first duel, not because someone forced him, not because he wanted approval, but because he felt a pull, a call to walk his own path. Everyone thought he was insane. A 13-year-old boy challenging a trained samurai. He didn't ask for permission. He didn't check if people believed in him. He didn't wait to feel ready. He stepped forward, and he won. Here's the lesson for you. Your life will never start until you stop needing permission to live it. You want freedom, but you cling to validation. You want to be strong, yet you ask people if you're allowed to chase your dreams. You want respect, but follow the crowd. Musashi didn't follow crowds, he cut through them. Chapter 2. The first rule of freedom: let go. In Dokkodo, written 1 week before his death, Musashi's first teaching was, accept everything just the way it is, not as weakness, not as surrender, but as clarity. You resist life, you argue with reality, you cling to things that already ended. You chase people who don't care, and that resistance drains your soul. Musashi carried no emotional baggage. He traveled with almost nothing, not because he wanted to look wise, but because excess is a trap. Your modern version of excess, notifications, drama, perfectionism, fake obligations, people who drain you. Freedom is simple. Let go of what keeps you trapped. Musashi's rule: do nothing that is of no use. Ask yourself, brutally, what in your life is of no use? What do you keep carrying that kills your energy? Let it go. Chapter 3. The warrior who owed nothing to anyone. One of Musashi's most radical teachings. Do not seek to possess goods or fiefs for your old age, meaning, don't build your life around fear. You make choices because you're scared of being alone, scared of failing, scared of disappointing others, scared of losing what you have. Musashi moved through life with nothing but 2 swords, not because he was reckless, but because he refused to be owned by anything. He knew, whatever owns your attention owns your life. If you want freedom, stop letting your fears choose your path. Chapter 4. The silence that makes you unbreakable. Musashi didn't fill his days with noise, he filled them with mastery. Between battles, he carved statues, painted ink scrolls, wrote letters, meditated by rivers. He understood something most people never learn. Silence isn't empty. Silence is full of answers. You drown your mind in distractions, music always on, messages always buzzing, thoughts racing, dopamine everywhere. No wonder you're exhausted. Your soul never gets quiet. Musashi teaches, in all things have no preferences, meaning, don't cling, don't crave, don't react. Be still, observe, act with clarity. The scariest level of freedom is this, when external noise no longer affects your inner world. Chapter 5. Walking alone doesn't mean loneliness. People think walking alone means isolation. Musashi shows the opposite. He had teachers, allies, students, but he didn't depend on any of them. He wasn't shaped by the crowd. He wasn't moved by opinions. He wasn't trapped by relationships. Freedom isn't the absence of people. Freedom is the absence of dependence. Ask yourself, would your life fall apart if certain people left? Would you stop moving if no one cheered for you? Musashi didn't need applause. He needed clarity. You can walk with people. You can love people. But don't let your identity depend on them. That is true freedom. Chapter 6. The Courage to Choose Your Path. At the end of Dokkodo, Musashi writes, "Think lightly of yourself and deeply of the world. That's the courage you lack. You think too much about yourself, how you look, what people think, whether you're enough." Musashi didn't waste energy on self-doubt. He studied the world, its rhythm, its patterns, its truths. And because he understood the world, he understood himself. Your path becomes clear when you stop obsessing over your flaws and start observing reality. Freedom is not granted, it is chosen. And most people are too afraid to choose, but not you, not anymore. The final test of freedom. Face yourself. There's one truth Musashi understood better than anyone. The hardest battle you will ever fight is the one against yourself. Not against rivals, not against society, not against obstacles, but against the fears you refuse to face. In the Book of Five Rings, Musashi wrote, "Know your opponent, know his sword, know yourself, know your mind." Most people study others, but never study themselves. They know every celebrity's life, but nothing about their own purpose. They know who they envy, but not who they are. They know their distractions, but not their direction. This is why you feel lost. This is why you feel pulled apart. This is why freedom feels impossible, because you keep running from yourself. Musashi didn't run. He sat with his fears. He faced his flaws directly, without excuses, without denial. He lived in a cave not to escape the world, but to confront everything inside him. He knew the final test of freedom is this: can you sit alone with your thoughts and not flinch? No scrolling, no noise, no escape, just you and the truth you've been avoiding. That's why most people never become free. Not because they're weak, but because they're terrified of meeting the real version of themselves. But here's the breakthrough. Once you face yourself, nothing else in the world can control you. This is the level Musashi reached, and this is the level you are capable of reaching. Because the moment you confront your own mind, you stop being a prisoner to it. You stop being controlled by fear. You stop living on autopilot. And that's when true freedom begins, not outside but inside. The way of walking alone. Musashi walked alone his entire life, not because he was empty, but because he was full of purpose, full of clarity, full of direction. You are tired because your life pulls you in 1,000 directions. Musashi had one direction. You chase validation. He chased mastery. You hold on to what's killing your spirit. He let go of everything of no use. You fear being alone. He found strength in it. This is the scariest level of freedom. When you stop needing anything and start creating everything. Walk your path, not theirs, not the crowd's, not society's, your path. Once you do, you won't fear loneliness. You'll fear ever losing yourself again. This is your moment. Your path of Dokkodo begins now. Detach focus, evolve, walk alone, and become unstoppable.